Damn, I can't wait to see how my portfolio is doing. Holy sh! That may have been a bit dramatic. My portfolio has been waiting to be transferred out of Freetrade for such a long time. I've been waiting to transfer over to Trading 212 for it seems like forever. I think I made a video at the beginning of last year saying that I wanted to move away from Freetrade, but it just took so long for Trading 212 to allow me to make an account to start with. And then it just took forever for them to allow me to do the transfer. And then the transfer took bloody forever as well. Well, anyway, we're finally here. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about everything, how long it took, the process of doing it, some recordings I took like a few weeks or a few months ago where I initiated the transfer. And we're just going to talk about it in this video, talk about the steps and everything that went into it. And then also maybe just a few reasons why I hate Freetrade. Anyway, let's get into the video. So let's go to me in the past, or George in the past, and get an update of where we were at a few weeks ago. So it's now it's portfolio transfer time. Been waiting for this moment for a very long time. Trading 212 have now confirmed that I can transfer my portfolio. So we're going to go through that process right now. This is my portfolio. I've got all my shares in here in Freetrade, but we need to go over to Trading 212 and take you through the steps of doing this transfer. So how you do it is you go to portfolio transfers, go to new transfer, get started, come down here to select your provider, or you can just search for your provider. I select Freetrade, you put in your details, and then you select transfer details, your transfer type, so stocks and shares, or stocks and cash, sorry, in specie, which means that you will keep your ISA allowance. It won't eat into your ISA allowance. That's what I'm doing. I'm also doing a full transfer for previous years and current tax year. Not really sure what that means, but that's what I'm doing. You click next, and then you just add in the assets that you have. Now, this took me a little bit of time because I had to go through all of my assets, so all of the stocks and ETFs that I had on my Freetrade account, and I just went through, search for the asset. For example, Microsoft. You put in Microsoft up here. You put in the number of shares that you've got. For example, like 48 shares. You put in your average buy price, say it's $100, and then you click add to asset list. And then you have a list here of your assets, and you just go through and add all of your assets. You click next, and then that will proceed with the portfolio transfer. So that is what I've done so far up to this point. If I come out of here, you can see that they are contacting the provider. If I go onto here, you can see that there's a transfer request review, and that's been done. There's transfer arrangements with my old provider. It says it could take up to 2 weeks depending on the responsiveness of the other provider. You may be contacted by them for further confirmations. And then you can see here on my assets, you can see I've got all of my assets here. If I click into Google, for example, I've got 8 shares on Freetrade with an average price of $94.25. So I went through, put all of those details in, the information that I had on Freetrade, how many shares I had, the average buy price that I've got. And then what will happen is those shares will come over at that average price for those number of shares, and that will appear in my account. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long. We also have the documentation transfer request form. I'm not going to show you that because it has a bit of confidential information to do with my account, my ISA, all of that information. The next update, and you can see here, is right in the middle of my portfolio screen. But the next update I'm going to do will be when that portfolio has transferred across and what information that I get from Freetrade or from Trading 212 at that point. Thank you, George. Now that we're back in the present, or in the past for you guys, but probably, let me just talk about some of the things that I didn't mention in the video, and also let's just talk about the steps that happened between that moment in time and where we're at now. After I initiated the transfer, it took a good few weeks, and I mean a good few weeks, for Freetrade to reach out to me. So Trading 212 had confirmed it, then Freetrade reached out to me, well, it was a good few weeks later, and they basically said, some of your stuff we can't transfer across. If you want to transfer across your US shares, it's going to cost you £17. And I did a video on that where I talked about why I sold out of my US positions, because Freetrade told me that I needed to sell them or pay £17 per share. Go watch that video right now if you want to find out why I sold those, or how much money I made from selling those, and the fees and stuff that came along with it. I sold out of my US positions, and then I think like a week later, again, they come back to me and said, we can't even transfer your all-world ETF. And Trading 212 confirmed that. And I was like, God damn it. Okay, so I had to sell out of my all world ETF on Freetrade, which is VWRL. And then I sold out of that again, told them that I'd done that. A week went by. And then again, they reached out to me and said, okay, cool. It's all going to go through. They transferred across my UK positions. So my UK positions got confirmed to be transferred. So they went across, and that took again another week or so. And then again, a few days later, they reached out and said, okay, now that that's done, we're going to transfer your cash. And at that point, I had about £8,000 in cash. Another week went by and my cash arrived. So in total, I would say from it being confirmed by Trading 212, I would say it took about 5 or 6 weeks for it to be done in total. Now, I don't think this is on Trading 212's part. I think it's Freetrade. I think there's probably a lot of people trying to transfer away from Freetrade. So they've got a lot of issues. They've got a lot of admin to do. And it took a while. They reached out to me and they were very nice. And they said, look, we don't want you to pay the £17. So you should sell out basically. But if you wanted to, it's going to cost you that much, and they'll do it for me. And then they were very kind in saying, you also need to sort out your VWRL position, your all world ETF position, because we can't transfer it across. It's held differently between Freetrade and Trading 212. Anyway, all of that came across, and that brings us to the present day, where I'm going to show you now what the positions are looking like and how much money is actually in my account. So if we open up Trading 212 right now, you can see that my portfolio is now all on this portfolio, which is amazing. It's sitting at £25,624. Now we can see here, if we go to the last month, that big spike, which is not letting me click on the graph, is when my UK positions came across. And then this even bigger spike in the last week or so, that's when my cash came across. So if we scroll down, we can see that I have about £8,000 in cash. Now, for now, it's going to stay in there because it's earning 4.9%. And I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with it, whether I want to just dump it into an all-world ETF or split it across multiple different ETFs or put it all into some crazy stock or something. I'm not going to do that. But I want to make content out of this. So I'm taking the time to think about it and explore my options. Now, if we come down here, we can see the positions that were transferred across. Unilever, £1,187. GSK, £1,076. Lloyds Banking Group, £981, Tesco £856, and SSE £723. So for these positions, I was never out of the market. I kept the positions. I kept the average share price that I had on Freetrade. You just have to enter it into Trading 212, which I think I explained earlier. They came across with the greens, the green percentage, or the red percentage. Now, obviously, I track all of this on my spreadsheet anyway, so I know the buy price originally, even if it's slightly wrong on Trading 212, but they're still there. Now, I'm considering selling out of my UK positions, taking some gains, accepting some of the losses from some of the positions, but I haven't done that yet. So for now, they're still in the portfolio. But I did sell out of around about, I think it's 12 or 13 shares of VWRL. So obviously that is now only sitting at £3,000. One of the things that isn't fully explained is the gains. So obviously the gains are showing £1,400 here, but in total, my gains are around about £4,000. So I've lost all of the gains that were on my Freetrade account, even though they might be showing as green in the positions down here. They don't. It doesn't show in total up here. Obviously, I do, again, like I said, I track this on my spreadsheet, but I have lost that it shows at the top of the screen, which isn't that important, but it makes it look better, you know, when you've got the big number at the top. But it is what it is. I'm not entirely bothered by that. This green number will get bigger anyway. I fully explained the transfer process earlier in the video, but now I'm going to talk about what happens with Freetrade now that I'm not using it anymore. So if we come across back to the app, Freetrade app, you can see here that it's sitting at £0 and a gain of £1,881. That isn't completely accurate because of when I pulled money out of the account, but it's there. You can see a big downward arrow where all my money was transferred out. You can see here that's when the money was pulled out, or when the positions were pulled out. So currently I have an ISA with Freetrade, but obviously with Freetrade you have to subscribe, so you have to pay whether it's $5.99 a month or you pay the £60 per year. And I actually paid the £60 per year. I think it was slightly cheaper. It came in at like £12 cheaper or something if you paid yearly. Now what happens? So what happened is I contacted them and said I had an annual plan. What's going to happen with the extra money, even though my annual plan is still going until May? And they basically said you can't cancel it online. You have to contact us personally so that we can sort it out for you. So if you were on just a monthly subscription, you'd cancel it and it wouldn't renew next month, and you'd just be moved down to the basic plan. But because I paid an annual fee, they make it more complicated. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. I tried to go through their AI like bot system, but it was not very helpful. And they've then said it's going to take 2-3 working days for them to get back to me. It's been about 2 to 3 working days already, but nothing's happened yet. So I'm still just waiting for them to come back to me. Obviously, I'm filming this on the weekend at the moment, but I contacted them in the middle of last week and nothing's happened. I'm sure that'll be fine, and I'm sure they will sort that out for me. But that is the next step that needs to happen if you're on an annual plan. It's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. So yes, everything has now moved over to Trading 212, and I'm finally all combined together. So I don't have to continuously do 2 updates or tell you about Freetrade anymore because it's gone. I don't need to worry about it. Now, let me just give you my thoughts about Freetrade and my switch from Trading 212. So I think that the switch over from Trading 212's position was smooth. Yes, it took a while. It probably took, from the moment that I wanted to move over to Trading 212, it probably was like 12 to 18 months. They weren't allowing people to make accounts. They weren't allowing people to make new accounts with Trading 212 on their platform. And then, even if I'd made an account, they weren't allowing people to do transfer ins. And because I'd only just made an account, I think I was last on the list. It was people that had been a Trading 212 customer for a long time that they were allowing to transfer first. But because I hadn't been a customer for very long, I think I was at the bottom of the list, which wasn't great. Obviously, I had about £12,000 in my Freetrade account that I wanted to move over, but it just took so long for them to allow me to do it. In terms of the transfer, it took not that long. In terms of Trading 212's side, they were very helpful. They gave you all the information and they communicated quite well. Freetrade, on the other hand, were quite slow. I think they probably have a lot of traffic to deal with, a lot of people trying to transfer out because they're not the cheapest. And Trading 212 is so much cheaper and just hands down the best platform. And whenever you do any form of investing or looking at investing content online, it's always Trading 212. My thoughts on Freetrade's platform anyway, I think the platform is great. It's definitely the best beginner platform there is. It's so easy to use. It gives you all the information that you need. It gives you all your breakdowns and everything. It's a brilliant platform for beginners, people that just want to buy an ETF and just leave it there, or maybe people who want to buy individual stocks because it's easy to use and it's very simple, and they give you all the information that you need. Trading 212, on the other hand, is just a better platform. It has more in-depth analysis. It has the community tabs. It has pies. It has more options than for what you can do with your money. It's also free. Funnily enough, Freetrade isn't free. You have to pay a subscription. Trading 212 is completely free. You can just invest £1 for no money at all. If you pick the right investments, you can pay no fees with what you're investing in. Now, in terms of a creator, yes, I'm considering myself a content creator only for this instance. Freetrade don't allow you to have a content creator like code. So if you're going to watch like Dr. Joubert or Tom's Personal Finance or any other big finance creator, you can get a Trading 212 code and you can get your £10 to £100 free share or whatever it is, and the creator will get paid for it. But with Freetrade, they don't allow you to do that anymore. Well, I think they potentially do if you're a creator, but you don't see that very often anymore. I tried to get a code, they just ignored me. Now with Trading 212, they're taking forever. It's been about a month now since I contacted them, and they came back to me and said, yeah, we're still working on it, blah, 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 blah. And they're taking a bit of time to sort that out. But hopefully I'll have a code for you guys and you can get your free share and I'll get paid out of it, hopefully, or whatever happens on my end, which would be nice. Those are my thoughts. I'm finally all together on Trading 212. So my content is going to be more concise and more beautiful because Trading 212 it just looks good. Everyone loves it. But yeah, thank you for watching this far into the video. If you enjoyed the video, give the video a thumbs up. Any suggestions on improvements to the video content or ideas for content going forward, please leave me a comment below and I will give you a reply. Until next time.